O God of all seasons and senses, grant me your sense of timing, to submit gracefully and rejoice quietly in the turn of the seasons. In this season of short days and long nights, of gray and white and cold.
Because of sadness, because of despair in our communities, because there is still so much longing in our hearts, let us light a candle of joy. Because apathy is still so strong, because so many words have been used to induce marginalization, because we are all called to counter the prevalence of fractitiousness and be beacons of celebration and delight in this world. Let us light a candle of joy. May the light from this candle overwhelm the world. May the light from this candle say to all, our joy knows no bounds in the present of the Incarnate One. Friends, be not afraid, we live in joy.
Mary said, my soul proclaims your greatness, O God, and my spirit rejoices in you, my Savior. For you have looked with favor upon your lowly servant, and from this day forward, all generations will call me blessed. For you, the Almighty, have done great things for me. Holy is your name. Your mercy reaches from age to age. For those who fear you, you have shown strength with your arm. You have scattered the proud in their conceit. You have deposed the mighty from their thrones and raised the lowly to high places. You have filled the hungry with good things, while you have sent the rich away empty. You have come to the aid of Israel, your servant, mindful of your mercy, the promise you made to our ancestors, to Sarah and Abraham and their descendants forever.
I sing of a maiden that is makeless, king of all kings to her son she shares. He came also still where his mother was, as dew in April that falleth on the grass. He came also still to his mother's bower, as dew in April that falleth on the flower. He came also still where his mother lay, as dew in April that falleth on the spray. Mother and maiden was never none but she. Where may such a lady, God's mother, be?
Last time I was at the end of my rope, I was sitting on the floor. I was surrounded by a very, very long string of Christmas lights that would not light. And unworthy words were leaping to mind. And finally, I gave up to do something easier. string popcorn on a needle. The end of your rope may be something like that. It may be the description of you as a child in the gym. And your firm but kind but firm teacher is looking at you holding on to a rope, encouraging you to climb to the ceiling. And you know you don't have the upper body strength for it. So you sit on the knot at the end of your rope in humiliation. Being at the end of your rope may be a confession, like Soren Kierkegaard's describing faith as dangling by the thinnest of strings over a stormy sea. The words from the book of Isaiah this morning were offered to despairing Israelite captives who had little hope of going home. Words that offered a flimsy rope, a garland of flowers. Didn't seem like much. It's almost as flimsy as the idea of a young Galilean peasant woman giving birth to a savior. But as the story goes, she grabbed that slim hope and she pulled herself up along with the rest of the world. Never underestimate the strength of a woman. 2 Galilean peasant women. One, much younger, flees the condemning words and looks of her small town to hide with her admittedly ancient cousin. She goes to see for herself that this woman who is advanced in years can be pregnant. And how she handles the stupid, derisive comments of her neighbors who wonder if she's been seeing somebody else while Zechariah is on his tour of duty in the temple. Or simply wanted to troll her. Mary goes where she can be an anonymous pregnant teenager. And so for both of them, the cousin's mood should be somber. Life is tough. It's tough for an older woman, inexplicably pregnant, and it is tough for a kid, a teenager. I have imagined Elizabeth singing some of the words of Serena Ryder's song, Waterfall, to Mary. It's too heavy a load. Oh, it's too heavy a load. Must be hard to stand up straight with the weight that's on your back. Must be hard to hold the ocean in your arms. Elizabeth is a gift to Mary. She welcomes her without judgment. She welcomes her with understanding. I'm grateful. I am grateful for the people in my life I go to in times of trouble, confusion, misunderstanding, and occasionally humiliation. I'm grateful for the people who trust me with their stories of trouble, confusion, misunderstanding, humiliation. There are Elizabeths in your life who welcome you in just as you are. And you are Elizabeth to others when you open the door and welcome someone in without judgment. Invite them to see other possibilities. And then somehow after you've heard their story, you invite them to dance. If you watch the video of Waterfall, you will see Serene Fox, the Anishinaabe activist from Batchewana First Nation, dancing to the beauty of freedom. That's the visual for the song, Waterfall. 2 Galilean peasant women. Their bellies protrude with life, new life. The babies dance in their wombs. Elizabeth has gray hair. Mary has bright eyes. And somehow in the evening they swirl in a dance on the rooftop, singing an Aramaic version of Magnificat anima mea Domine. My heart rejoices in God. And the dance continues. These are women who have seen the angels of God and lived to sing about it. Women who, with all women, have seen how life crushes them and in each other's faith find reason to hope. God has come to them and handed each of them a baby and said, "Here, hold this for me, will you?" Which is what God does with us. Put down your weapons. Put down your encumbrances and hold this baby. Protect them. Nurture them. Make them your focus. Every baby. Some of us are more confident than others at holding babies, and experience helps, like knowing it won't break. And it's pretty hard for it to wiggle out of my grip, and if whoever held them last wrapped them properly, I won't get leaked on. But our innate need to nurture and protect helps too. Some of you want to hold a baby as soon as you see it. Some have to be persuaded. Kids tend to get like, this is a real live being I get to hold. However long it takes. Babies calm us, distract us, they even change us. And some of you want nothing to do with it. You wonder why anyone would bring another child into a hungry, uncertain, violent world. God did. And does every time one's born. That boy, that girl, that person, the person they become, the person they discover, are a gift to us. When you were born, you were handed into the protective, fearful, nurturing arms of someone, and every Christmas, we get this wondrous and shattering reminder that when we focus our attention on one child, one among many, who grow to become a man who lived to convince us that God is in our midst, we get the reminder that we ought to treat every baby, every child, every person as a gift, starting with ourselves. This is a tough world to be human in. That's why I keep a supporting image of God coming to us as individuals, stepping into the midst of conflict, coming to us in our distracted, fragmented, burdensome lives, and holding out a swaddled infant and saying, "Here, hold this for me, will you?" And we become the most important person on earth because we hold hope. And we become the most vulnerable person on earth because we know it is going to cost us. In Matthew's version of the birth story of Jesus, a violent reality emerges almost immediately. Herod's soldiers arrive to kill all the possible rivals to the throne, and we hold this reality and hear the Coventry Carol, the imagined lullaby sung by the mothers of Bethlehem to hush their infants and save them from slaughter. Know how the story will end. Mary will go from cradling an infant to cradling an adult son, as in Michelangelo's Rondinini Pieta, his last sculpture. I'm trying to recall the last time. I really am trying to recall the last time I didn't get to December and say, it's been a tough year. I guess that comes from the choice to be aware and have faith that Elizabeth's and Mary's labor cries will cause old ways to crumble. We have heard the groans of those who suffer. We groan in protest and anguish. We live in a pregnant hope. It gives birth to new realities every day. We become the arm of God that scatters the proud in the thoughts of their hearts, brings down the powerful who are untouched by suffering from their thrones, and lift up the lowly, filling the hungry with good things, and sending the rich away empty. We yell for justice, call out the complacent, and shake their Scrooge-like hearts to the bottoms of their leather shoes. We weary of our birth pangs, and our throats are sore from all the shouting. Some days the end of my rope is a candle wick. Just when it seems all is lost, that our brokenness, our failure, has gone too far.
You call the new day to come.
Just when it feels that hope is foolish, that darkness and despair are the only true realities.
You call the sun to rise.
Just when we think we're alone and abandoned, that life is nothing but pain and emptiness and meaninglessness, you arrive among us again. God of Advent and restoration, we praise you for every new day that absorbs the darkness, for every rising sun that calls the night to end, for every messenger of hope and joy that baptizes us with your love.